and then there will be a round of questions from you, from the journalists. There will be only 5 questions, okay, to keep it simple. So now President Puigdemont will begin. Thank you, President, for being here.
Okay.
Please.
Good morning, bonjour, buenos días, bon dia. Je vais commencer par faire un remerciement, surtout au Press Club, pour accueillir cette conférence de presse.
I want to thank the group that has allowed me to be here at this press conference, first of all.
Alors, on va commencer à nouveau, d'accord. Excuse-moi, s'il vous plaît. Je vais commencer mes mots pour faire un remerciement clair au Press Club. Pour
want to thank the press group
cette conférence de presse
who has allowed me
vous accueillir aussi à tous
to do this press conference
here.
here.
Vous montrer un intérêt sur les sujets que je vais vous exposer maintenant. Je vais utiliser 3 langues. Je dois utiliser le catalan parce qu'il y a beaucoup de monde.
I will speak in Catalan because there are lots of Catalan people listening at the moment. I will also speak in Spanish and in French, and I can also speak English if needed.
En tout cas, il y aura à votre disposition, je ne sais pas si de maintenant ou après, il y aura une version en anglais.
There will be an English version available later on for all of you.
C'est pour ça que j'utilise 3 langues que je vais utiliser sans aucun doute pour m'exprimer sans craindre de me tromper.
But I will
de provoquer
use my language so that I can be clear enough to everyone, all Catalans who are listening.
Divendres al vespre,
Friday night,
reunits al Palau de la Generalitat i després de la
the
declaració
meeting
d'independència del Parlament
at government and later on at the Parliament,
dades de fons
and looking at all data, contrasted data, saying that Spanish government was thinking of a very offensive, very aggressive measures against Catalonia and institutions,
i contra aquest govern que presideixo,
and against the government that I preside, with charges from the prosecutor confirmed yesterday, with possible sentences that could add up to 500 years altogether, and possible arrests. For this reason, we agreed on Friday that we wanted to prioritize moderation and prudence. We said once again that dialogue and moderation always has to prevail in order to carry on with our objectives. I want to remind you that before and after the referendum, we've always offered dialogue until the end, even offering to suspend the declaration of independence in order to favor dialogue. But this was rejected by both the Popular Party and the Socialist Party. They don't want to confront the problem, the political problem that we have. They only confront this problem with oppression. And
beaucoup d'exemples. Par exemple, 700 maires qui sont déjà au parquet, l'agressivité, la violence contre des milliers de personnes.
Many mayors have expressed their reject to violence as well. Many mayors in Catalonia.
L'impunité d'extrême droite, les amendes millionnaires contre des responsables institutionnels qui ont fait possible la consultation démocratique du 9 de novembre 1914 et hier la présentation de cette demande du procureur général de l'État, de laquelle je vais parler après, tout ça nous a obligés, comme je l'ai dit avant en catalan, vendredi,
I'm just repeating what I've already said before in Catalan.
À cette circonstance est priorisée pour, comme principale raison, la principale priorité d'éviter la violence.
We want to avoid violence
toujours la paix et le dialogue
because
ont
the
été
peace
une priorité
and
de la
dialogue
majorité de
will
la population
always
de la
be
Catalogne
our
et aussi
priority, and
du
that
gouvernement de la
the
Catalogne.
priority of
C'est à
most
partir de cette perspective
Catalans.
que toutes les décisions qu'adoptait le gouvernement à partir de
So
vendredi
all the decisions that we've been making since
sont
Friday
avec les valeurs de la paix,
have
du
always
respect
been based
à la
on
pluralité
these values of
et à la
peace,
neutralité des
plurality,
administrations que toujours
neutrality.
essayé, que nous avons essayé d'aboutir le gouvernement de la Catalogne. Si este gobierno habría podido optar
This
por
government
forzar a los funcionarios
could
fieles al
have
gobierno
chosen
a iniciar una disputa por la hegemonía,
to force all
preferido
public workers
garantizar que no habrá enfrentamientos.
to certain attitudes, but we decided that there will be no violence. We cannot build a republic from violence. If the Spanish state wants to use violence, this will be their decision, but we cannot drag things into a scene where everything is based on oppression.
De forma consistente, como por otra parte tendría que hacer todo demócrata. El gobierno dijo que no pondría los
The
funcionarios
Spanish government, the Catalan government, said we are not going to put our public service workers in danger, and this is what I've done. If our approach has the price of the building of our republic being slower, we are prepared to pay this price. We think this is an exercise of responsibility that shows that Catalan Republic is going to be a different state. We haven't come all the way here to behave in a different way. Yesterday, we saw the public prosecutor bringing charges against us. These charges just confirm the very extreme oppression that the Spanish are using. These charges have no real legal base, and its only objective is to go against people and asks for 30 years prison for all of us, with sometimes very abusive bail charges as well, or preventive prison, as we have been able to see with Jordi Sánchez and Jordi Cuixart. These charges, as I said, show the extreme aggression and the way that the Spanish government has chosen to act. The government of Catalonia prioritizes 4 elements at this moment.
Quatre ambits que je vais prioriser. Premier, une partie du gouvernement, avec moi-même comme président légitime, nous ont déplacés à Bruxelles.
We are here in Brussels
les problèmes catalans au cœur institutionnel de l'Europe.
To show the whole of Europe our problem, to make it obvious.
La seva volonté de poursuivre les idées, pas les délits,
also to show everyone this aggressive attitude I was mentioning before from the Spanish government.
Aujourd'hui, à l'État espagnol, et notre résolution, la résolution aussi du peuple catalan, et notre engagement au droit à l'autodétermination pour le dialogue et pour une
The
solution
Catalan people are committed to dialogue and they're committed to a new state.
au fond de laquelle il y a le vice-président et aussi la tête de la candidature Junts pel Sí, qui continue la Catalogne faisant l'activité politique comme un légitime membre du gouvernement de la Catalogne.
Our political party, coalition, Junts pel Sí, are carrying on with their duties in Catalonia as a legitimate party. We will carry on with our work despite the limitations that we have.
On va défendre l'idée que la querelle, que
And
la
we want
demande de l'État,
to defend
c'est une demande politique. Donc on va faire
the idea and transmit this idea
une position politique,
that
juridique.
the actions from Spanish government are actions and attitudes that only seek to condemn
Notre
ideas.
responsabilité est face à la justice. Et on va s'affronter politiquement à la grave.
We need to have a political approach
que
to this problem.
propose le gouvernement espagnol. En tercer lugar, vamos a apoyar las diferentes iniciativas que se están
We will support the different initiatives in order to avoid Article 155 destroying the whole institutional system in Catalonia. We support the unions, entities, and all political and government workers who are still working and are trying to carry on with their duties. Finally, we have the election that the Spanish government has called, and we look at this as an opportunity, as a democratic opportunity. We are not scared of voting. We will face this election and we will give an answer to the Spanish government and to the whole international community. This is how we need to resolve conflicts, not putting people in prison, but in a democratic way. And that is why we will face this election with all our strength.
Nous, on va respecter les résultats de les élections qui sont convoquées par le 21 décembre. Comment nous, on a fait toujours, n'importe quel était le résultat. Je vais poser une question au gouvernement espagnol.
We will respect the result of that election on the 21st of December, whatever the result is.
Le bloc de l'État espagnol va respecter les résultats des urnes, de la volonté. Je veux un engagement clair de la partie de l'État. J'insiste. Est-ce que l'État va respecter les résultats?
And then I want to ask, will the Spanish state respect the result of the election or not?
Pour la partie de l'État, ça veut dire qu'il y aura des sortes de votants en Catalogne, de première division, de seconde. Ce qui sont les résultats pouvant être appliqués et ce qui, pas du tout, être respecté par le gouvernement espagnol. Donc, j'insiste, gouvernement espagnol, le bloc 155, êtes-vous prête à respecter le résultat
I insist.
Moi, oui.
I want to ask the government, the Spanish government, are you ready to accept the result of the election?
C'est la position officielle de tous les partisans de 155 et surtout en particulier du Parti populaire et du gouvernement espagnol. Et pour terminer, avec deux réflexions. Une à la communauté internationale et l'autre au peuple de Catalogne. À la communauté internationale et tout particulièrement à l'Europe.
To the international community, especially Europe.
Je lui demande de réagir. Il faut voir, il faut comprendre que la cause que le
You need
des
to
Catalans,
understand
c'est la cause de valeurs,
that
sur
Catalan
lesquelles
cause
c'est fondé
is a
l'Europe.
cause
La
to defend
démocratie, la
values
liberté,
like
la libre
freedom,
expression, l'accueil,
democracy,
la non-violence.
freedom of speech,
Permettre au
non-violence,
gouvernement espagnol de ne pas dialoguer,
against an attitude from the Spanish government of violence,
de puisse s'imposer militairement,
non-dialogue,
de puisse nous mettre en prison pendant 30 ans,
of
c'est
sending people
finir,
to
c'est
prison.
finir
This
avec l'idée
needs to
d'Europe.
end.
Et c'est une erreur énorme que tout le monde, pas uniquement nous, tout le monde va payer. Payer touché.
Because everyone in Europe, everyone
Al poble
will
de
pay
Catalunya
for that.
Li demano que es prepari per un camí llarg.
I want to say to Catalans
Tenim davant
that they need
un
to be
estat que
ready
només
for a
entén
long
la raó de
process.
la força.
We are facing a state
decidit
that only
utilitzar la
understands
violència,
oppression
la repressió,
and the state has
aconseguir
decided
que abandonem
to
el nostre
use
projecte polític
violence
i no ho aconseguiran.
in order
La unitat
that
que hem
we
demostrat
abandon
fins avui,
our political
la intel·ligència col·lectiva que
project,
ens ha
and we
permès
will
avançar
not do
amb
that.
el pacifisme com a única
We
arma.
are advancing
La
with
democràcia com a eina que ens fa
in a
invencibles
peaceful
són
way.
i seran les bases de la nostra
And this
victòria.
is our weapon, and this will be the
Demano també
base
un reconeixement
of our
per
victory.
cadascun dels consellers i conselleres del meu govern.
I want to also
Tots tenen molt
thank the
presents
members of my
els seus fills i la seva
government.
família davant de l'amenaça
They
que ens
all
enfrontem.
have families
L'equip que
and
està avui aquí,
children,
dels que estan a Catalunya,
and they are
mereixen el nostre
threatened.
màxim
I
reconeixement
think they
per l'esforç
deserve
personal que
our
estan fent.
recognition
I us vull demanar
for all
que
they're
els doneu
doing.
el vostre màxim
And I
escalf
want to
i suport.
ask you
I finalment, un
that
últim
you
prec.
give them
Treballem perquè
maximum
sigui possible
support.
que el Partit Popular, que el Partit Socialista i que
The
Ciudadanos
Popular Party,
desmuntin les institucions
Socialist Party, and Ciudadanos in Spain want to destroy Catalan institutions. We will do everything we can to keep these institutions alive and against Article 155. We want to keep our legitimate government in Catalonia, and the election in December will follow this same idea. It is with democracy that we have always won. If we can behave in a democratic way, we have always won, but not by using force.
I per tant, allà, sempre que hi hagi urnes, allà també ens trobarem. Moltes gràcies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
One moment, please. We'll take five questions because the president has to leave first from Euronews.
Hi, James Freeney from Euronews. Very simply, are you here to claim political asylum? And under what conditions would you return to Catalonia? And then second question, if I may, what's your message to those Catalans who think you should all be in jail?
The first question, I am not here in order to demand political asylum. This is not a Belgian question. I'm here in Brussels as a capital of Europe. This is not a matter of the question of the Belgian politics. It has no relationship. I'm here in order to act with freedom and safety and surety, seguridad. La segunda question era, could you repeat your question?
Under what conditions would you return to Catalonia?
Well, sorry. En quelles conditions je vais retourner en Catalogne? Bon, on est ici à la recherche des garanties que pour l'instant ne se donnent pas à la Catalogne, en Espagne. Vous avez remarqué quel est le titre du document de la demande du procureur général? Vous avez remarqué? Ils ont dit más dura será la caída. Ça, plus dur sera la chute. Ça indique pas un désir de justice, mais un désir de vengeance. Et donc, tel qu'il y aura
there is no will for justice on the part of the Spanish prosecutor. what they want is vengeance. You only need to listen to the language that they used on their communication asking for charges.
Il n'y aura pas les conditions objectives. On n'a pas écarté ces possibilités. Mais bien sûr, on veut agir de façon complètement libre, tranquille, pour prendre les décisions.
We will act in a calm way in order to make a decision whether to go back or not.
On peut défendre avoir ces garanties juridiques dans le cadre de l'Union européenne. Parce qu'on est ici comme citoyens européens.
We are here as European citizens. We are free to be here as European citizens.
Et bon, on va voir. Chaque jour, il y a des nouveautés.
We will see if there is anything new. We will act as a legitimate government.
Ce qui se passe en Catalogne, c'est aussi d'aller à la capitale de l'Europe.
And the best way to explain what our ideas is from the capital of Europe.
Yeah, sure.
Sit down.
L'americana, passa del punt.
Mr. Puigdemont, good morning. Gavin, BBC. You say you haven't abandoned the government, Spain calls the former government. Now, why have you left Catalonia? Why have you decided to come to Belgium? You explain clearly. And also, could you give a sense of how long you are planning to stay here for?
Moi, j'ai décidé de venir à la Belgique. Pas la Belgique, mais à Bruxelles. C'est important de remarquer ça. Parce que pour nous, Bruxelles, c'est la capitale de l'Europe. Donc, j'insiste que c'est un sujet européen.
Because I think this is the capital of Europe.
Et pour agir de façon plus
and I'm trying to be in a neutral place and
vous devez connaître qu'à partir que le gouvernement espagnol a décidé de façon illégitime de nous quitter de notre responsabilité, de cesser, tous ces membres du gouvernement, y compris qui était le ministre de l'Intérieur, de la police, qui a dû diriger toute la politique contre les attentats de Barcelone, ils ont aucune protection, aucune.
Because all our members are the members of our government, they have no protection.
De ne donner aucune protection à les membres du gouvernement. Et moi-même, ma protection a été énormément diminuée. Donc, il y a aussi des raisons pour agir de façon plus tranquille, avec plus sûreté.
Here we have a bit more security.
Dans lequel, surtout, on a décidé de ne pas privilégier la confrontation sociale.
But what we want mostly is not to feed social confrontation.
Je suis convaincu, surtout par les informations et les renseignements que j'avais, qu'il y aurait eu une réaction d'énorme violence de la part de l'État, comme l'a démontré déjà le 1er octobre. Je ne vais pas exposer.
I don't want the members of my government to be facing oppression and violence again.
Je ne veux pas. C'est pour ça.
We can't tolerate that.
Si vous me permettez, comme une action pour détendre,
So is this what we want is to de-escalate the tension a bit, and we want to be able to carry on our actions as a government. How long we will be here, it will depend. It will depend on the circumstances. You can see by the reaction of the Spanish state.
À tous nous, et si vous permettez, à moi en particulier, un processus juste, indépendant, avec séparation de pouvoir.
And it is not guaranteed that we would have
donc si
fair
peut garantir ça,
trial.
On retournera de façon immédiate. Mais on doit continuer à travailler.
We need to carry on with our work.
Décider vendredi soir de cette stratégie. Merci.
Mr. Puigdemont, thank you. Mark Stone from Sky News. If possible, if you could answer in English, it would be hugely appreciated. What do you say to those people who say you've created chaos in Spain, in Catalonia, and then simply fled with your accomplices, as Madrid would see them? And a question for you all, I suppose you could just answer with a nod of the head. Are you prepared to go to jail for up to 30 years for what has happened?
La second question will contesto la segona pregunta i després jo contestaré la primera.
Are we prepared to go to jail for 30 years? Is a fair trial? Would a fair trial have this as a reasonable outcome? Ask this question and you have the answer.
Nous sommes convaincus de tous nos faits, nous sommes convaincus de tout ce qu'on a fait, nous sommes convaincus qu'on a actué avec une grande volonté de démocratie, nous sommes convaincus d'avoir agi principalement pour la liberté de notre pays.
We are convinced that what we've done and the way we've done things,
tranquille, très civique, très démocratique.
we've done things in a democratic and civic
si on
way.
agit sur ces principes, sur ces valeurs, c'est impossible aujourd'hui.
We are convinced that nowadays, if you act based on these values,
ce serait pour nous incroyable. Je veux vous rappeler que maintenant,
that cannot carry a big sentence.
C'est un délit équiparable au délit de terrorisme.
The offense of rebellion is quite similar to that of terrorism. I want to highlight that. And so people are comparing us to terrorists. That is why the President is asking Europe to reflect on that. Because our conflict is a political conflict, and a political conflict needs a political solution. So we need to be able to sit down and talk.
Well, the chaos started the 1st of October with the violence from the Spanish side. Till this day, all these processes was in a very peaceful way, and was the violence from the Spanish police who broke in this way, and this has started the chaos.
There is no chaos. There is no chaos. There is no chaos.
Chaos in there, because of the violence.
Quina importància té això?
Efectivament, nosaltres som ciutadans europeus.
We are European citizens, so there's free movement. We can go anywhere in Europe, and so we are here, and we are not illegally here. That needs to be clear. So we're just doing like any other citizen. We move around in a calm way, and we are in permanent contact with many people, or members of my government and my team. It couldn't be in any other way. In the current circumstances, all we will do is based on those values that I mentioned before, and that we've been repeating since Friday, to try and keep.
Probablement algú li sorprendrà, però jo vull recordar que el programa electoral
Those values.
per guanyar les eleccions al Parlament del 27 de setembre del 2015,
when we won the election in
registrat a l'autoritat electoral
2015,
espanyola sense cap oposició,
I want to remind
aquest programa
everyone
electoral que va tenir el suport
that
més alt de la història,
the option that won the election in Catalonia then, the electoral program was saying that this term would finish, political term would finish with the declaration of independence. So now the Spanish state is now threatening me with prison when the only thing I'm doing is following that program, that democratic program from the election.
Aquí, evidentment, perdó, només per comentar, nosaltres hem tingut una agenda estrictament europea. No hem vingut a fer cap altra acció que no tingui a veure amb el nostre cas català.
We've just come here to carry on with our work, nothing else than that.
Ho decidirem.
We will decide, depending on how things evolve, how long we'll be here.
Però és evident que nosaltres podem garantir millor segurament una part dels nostres drets aquí.
But it is very obvious that our rights are probably better guaranteed here while we're here.
Final question?
Yeah.
Final question?
Belgian television?
Belgian television? Wait.
Est-ce que vous avez été en contact avec les politiciens ici en Belgique, notamment de la NPA?
Non, pas du tout. Je ne suis pas ici pour faire de la politique belge ou pour
I'm not here to mix Belgian politics with all this. Not at all.
Je ne demande pas rien à la politique belge de ça. Je demande en tant que parti de la politique européenne, mais comme tous les
we just hear as part of European politics.
Quelques familles politiques belges, malgré que, bien entendu, vous connaissez qu'il y a de sympathie.
It is obviously empathy from some part of Belgian politics, but we're not here to do Belgian politics.
Merci bien, monsieur.
Thank you very much.
Mark, sorry.
Well, that there, the proposed Catalan leader, Carles Puigdemont, making a statement to the cameras. We wondered where he was. He'd been off-grid, really, since Saturday, but he turned up in Brussels yesterday, and he's finally made this statement. And the headlines from it are really that the reason he's gone to Brussels, he says, is because they wanted to prioritise moderation and dialogue and felt that staying in Catalonia could possibly lead to potential violence. On the charges that the Supreme Court has used against him, he says that they have no legal basis and the only objective is to go against people. They show the extreme aggression and the way the Spanish government chooses to act. Also saying that they will participate in the election on December the 21st, saying we will respect the result of the election. And I want to ask, will the Spanish government respect the result of the election too? Let's bring in our correspondent here in Europe, Michelle Clifford, who's been following this story closely for the last month and is in Madrid now, the seat of the Spanish government. Michelle finally got an answer as to why he's gone there, but no clear as to how long he's going to stay for.
No, and I definitely think you have to draw the conclusion from that press conference from the various members of the government that they are scared because the allegations that have been levelled against them by the public prosecutor